we will keep it for tomorrow. There ends the first chapter. Just before death, what happens? Sense of touch goes away. Then taste goes away. Then smell goes away. These three things goes away. The mind has shrunk already. It carries only the two senses along with it still active. What is that? Sound and sight. When people go into comas, they are still listening, hearing, but they cannot act because the sense of action is completely frozen. The body is frozen, but you can hear what people are saying. Are you getting what I'm saying? They cannot respond. They want to respond, they cannot respond. Have you had this experience sometime when you are in deep sleep, or sometime someone is asking something or calling you, you are saying, oh, yeah, but you are unable to get out and do anything. How many of you had this experience? This is very close, very similar to close to death experience. So the consciousness is now alive, aware, and is not able to respond. But since the awareness is there, it's conscious, then it snaps out of the body. When it just snaps out of the body, a little bit of that sense of sight, light still exists. And sound still exists. Sound and light still exists. So the last rites in the Hindu tradition is something so fantastic, because the person is still can hear, they tell him, you have lived a grand life. Let the water go into, your body is made up of 5 elements. Let the earth element go back to the earth, water element go back to water, fire will dissolve in fire, will be consumed by fire, let air goes into air element, and you are light and you merge in the universal light. That's where you have come from. You have no blemish, you have no sin, you have no impressions, you are just pure joy. You are love incarnate. Go back to your source. May you be free, may you be free, may you be free. This is what is the last rites and the rituals that is done. You are free. Bless from there this whole creation. Bless everybody. You are free. You need nothing now. Go. And this is what the mantras are chanted. Unfortunately, nobody understands what they are chanting. And nobody explains to them in the language they can understand. They simply chant, they do a ritual, they go back home. Without understanding it, what they are saying. And perhaps that soul may understand a little bit those language. With that hope, we don't know. The soul may understand, but the language it's a very beautiful ritual. It said your body is dissolved into the creation from where it has come. You are free, you are part of the divine light, you merge into the light. You merge into the light, you merge into the light. This is the instruction given to the soul, you merge into the light. And it's such a relief. Wow, somebody at that moment said, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are not the thoughts. You are neither this, you are not that, you are not that. So saying you are not this, you are not this, You become free of this, you become free of that, and free of that. You go to a place of total freedom. Total freedom. And there is no guarantee just listening to this at the last minute they get liberated. Because the cravings and aversion is so strong in the mind, it's still okay, but then my grandson is there, my son has cheated me or my daughter has not done this thing to me, that mind still can latch on to that. Very much. That cravings and aversion still remain in seed form to take birth again. You know why people give the name, even in the British tradition, English tradition, it is there, George the Fifth and George the Seventh, and the kings usually used to give the names of the grandfather to the grandchild, isn't it? Huh? This tradition has come from the Vedic times, because the most attachment for a person is with grandchildren in old age. More than father and mother, the grandparents are attached to the kids. So when they leave the soul, they will be born to them. Usually this happens. You are born in the same family, to the same, because of your attachment, because your world is limited. You are not open to everybody in the world. The attachment is so strong within the same family. That's why they keep the same name also. Grandchildren are getting the names of great-grandfather or something like that. That's very interesting. Or if someone has a deep aversion towards somebody, they are born to them. Really, I tell you. Your strongest cravings and your strongest fear and aversion determines your next life. Rats are born as cats. They are not born as dogs. Similarly, worms, there is this whole thing about species, it's a whole psychology. So you can analyze them so well. It's just the fear. Because see, some animals are afraid of only some other animals. Whichever animal they are afraid of, that is the next body for them. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because the strongest fear is the last impression in the mind. And that gives rise to the next birth. You think you're meeting me for the first time? Don't you have some feeling that you have met me before? Yes or no? Yes? Somebody feels, no? Familiar, it's not a new interaction. That's it, listen to your mind. Yes, in death only the physical body gets separated from the subtle body and the causal body. The subtle body is where all the impressions are there. So, definitely there is, from the other side, there is communication. Communication in the sense, there is a witness from there. Like you are on the hot air balloon and you see everything happening down there. But you can't do anything about the traffic that's happening there. You just see, there is a traffic jam. But you are in the hot air balloon, you keep moving. In coma, it is a state when you lose the first three senses, but you still hold on to the sense of light, means sight. Mentally there is alertness and sight. And sound, you still can hear the sound. And you have not left the body. You stay in that libido, in that limbo state for a longer time. Yeah, some comes back. Yeah, they can come back from that state. When they come back, they started feeling the other senses. It's like going up to the balcony and returning back inside. Coming to your portico and getting back inside the home again. Blessing works all the time, but right, blessings, you can bless them to come back or go, whichever is good for you. The karma plays a big role there, the secrets of karma. Karma means all the impression in the subtle body, which determines your next life, where you will come home. Different things work with certain voltage, right? This iPad has certain, you can plug in with only certain voltage. If it's too high voltage, this will break. Similarly, these bulbs are all of certain definite voltage. Fridge is of definite voltage. The fan goes with, and our torch cell works with certain amount of electricity, certain amount of current. Similarly, a soul, the subtle body and causal body's combination, each soul gets certain amount of voltage, energy with them. And when there is a chance, when a man, woman meet in their, that moment of conception, the electricity, the energy that they have brings that type of soul into the sun, into the planet. The union of man and woman determines what type of soul is going to come, which voltage soul can come there. I mean, it is again a secret. The secret of birth. Yeah, when you meditate, your voltage definitely increases. When you meditate and keeping in mind a departed soul, they get comfort. It depends on their karma. You can never say. You can bless them, you should continue to. I don't know too much about it. I know only little bit, whatever I share. Don't ask me too much, That fear of God is only in the book, in the papers, in letters. You're really not afraid of God because you don't know God. And if you know God, you will never be afraid. And if you're scared of God, a concept, you are scared of yourself only, You are scared of hell. You are scared of life and it's losing its pleasure. You are not really scared of God as such. Right? If that would have been so good, you fear God, it's good. You all come back as God. When a soul dies in accident, it lingers on with certain longer time. There is some, there are some prayers and rituals for them also to make them free of that, whatever. But I'm not very sure about all that state. I have said many times, suicide is like saying, I'm so cold and removing all your jackets. It's sort of crazy act. You are shivering. It's like a child, it wants to go to sleep, but it is crying so hard. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't know how to sleep. You want to sleep, but you don't know how to sleep, and so you cry. Similarly, you're so cold, and instead of taking more blankets on you, you are removing all your clothes off. So this is exactly suicide. in one word to describe that. But suicide does not get that person out of the misery for which he is committing suicide. They are miserable, they want to get out of the misery, that's why they commit suicide. But it doesn't happen. In fact, it remains with them for a longer time. Then they come back again. They have to be born again. When you are rid of all the cravings and aversion, do you still come back? Yes, then you come back out of compassion. And even then you come back as a free person with compassion. You want to do something, you do it in the world and go.
कामादिसर्प व्रजगारुडाभ्याम्